Hello everyone, my name is Commissar Hecht. Welcome to a special video. A while back, I was approached by a Warhammer Twitch slash podcast group called Aushammer in Australia. And they wanted to do an interview with me with my while I was wearing my Commissar's cosplay, and asked me some questions about the cosplay, etc. And and when we talked about Warhammer, and I was like, sure. So we hammered down the details, and the video that you're going to watch is Aushammer interviewing me as Commissar Hecht, as my YouTube personality. And we talked about the channel a little bit, but mostly just Warhammer lore. And I think that it went well, and I enjoy it. So if you are on Twitch and you like Twitch, go over to Aushammer, show these guys some love. They definitely helped me out. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. This battle port, and then the battle port that's coming out today. It's going to be another guard versus Necron, so we'll do that. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Enjoy this interview. It's a 2-hour-long interview, so strap yourselves in. And they were just a good group of guys to chat with. And I hope you enjoy what they bring to the table. Now, in the beginning, there was an audio issue, so if you just scrub to the 4-minute mark and then just watch the rest of the interview after this bit, we'll be good to go. Alrighty? But yeah, I'll see you guys later, and enjoy the interview.
Let me just reset all of this. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. You have joined us for a very special episode of Aushammer Live. The Commissar has finally caught up with us in our heretical ways, as per usual. And we've got the fantastic Commissar Hecht here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause. If I had the button, we could do it. So guys over here. And here we are live. Oh, well, that's pretty easy. We'll just renounce our heretical ways, as, as, as per usual. And it is fantastic to have you. What an opener! I don't think we've had an opener like that in a very, very long time. Oh, that was glorious. That was glorious. All right, so we have the amazing Commissar Hecht. He is in full ceremonial regalia for us, which is absolutely fantastic. It is an absolute honor, and we've all dressed up. Scotty's got his hat on. Well, there we go. We'll just lock it on to the good Commissar. Oh yeah. Toddy's doing his best impression of a Cad-chan. Just give us a flex. So we're all here. I've liberated a small uniform from places, and there we go. Oh, no one can hear anything for you, Bryn. Oh no, we've got it. Oh, there we go. Look at that. We've got desktop audio in the thing. We did have a small issue. There we go. Look, we're all in there. All right, look. Who cares? We'll do it again. Commissar Hecht, introduce yourself. How are you going, buddy? What is it? No, we are still having our classic. Nope, no one can hear me. They can only hear these guys. This is thoroughly. Yep, no, we are definitely stuck. I can hear you guys, but for some reason my My desktop isn't coming through. I've got that coming through. That's coming through. Have we got anything coming through on our Twitch? Was there anything coming through there? Everyone, oh, here we go. The live troubleshooting begins. Yeah, that's weird. I can hear it too. Seems to be coming through just fine. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I don't know why our desktop audio seems to be so muted, which is rather odd. But we'll continue. I will continue to troubleshoot in the meantime, while we work out exactly what's going on here. We should be having a pretty decent amount of talking coming through. Toddy, can you give us a couple of blurbs or something?
Yeah, man. So
yeah, no, you guys are coming through fine.
we're all coming through good.
Definitely picking you guys up. My I don't know what's going on there. This is what you get when it says.
Hold on, I actually have a prayer for this. Let me just.
Oh yeah, no, we need. You know what we need? You know what we should have done? We should have interviewed a tech priest. This is where we went wrong.
I was saying that to Jazz today. She helped me do some maintenance to my laptop. She was getting cranky with it because it wasn't working. I was like, stop.
Did she just delete it?
You've just got to appease the machine spirit. It'll work.
You just gotta make it happen. Look, there we go. Look, but we're only like 5 minutes in, and we should be okay. We have the sound now. This is what happens when you let Adeptus Mechanicus set up your fucking audio. This is it. This is it.
You didn't.
Listeners, have you smeared the correct unguents?
Yeah. Did you try turning it on and off again?
Oh, is that in the primer?
That actually is reciting of loading and unloading.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's cold.
Oh, I love it. It's all in there. We're all here. We're all live. We've got Father Nor in the chat. He's giving us tech priest tips, which is absolutely amazing. So, all right.
Let's take this from the top, shall we?
Glad we didn't try and do any sort of serious interviews.
Oh no, heaven forbid that.
Heaven forbid we act professional. Huh?
Yeah. It's not like you do this for a living, guys.
No, not at all.
No.
In the what was it, in the wise words of Andy Chambers, don't quit your day job, guys.
Yeah. Some sage advice from a wise man.
That was very true. Mm.
What was it? Rick Priestley was the one who took out a 60,000 pound loan to start GW,
Really?
and they lived out of their van or something like that.
That's a smart move.
They did an interview on they did an interview on BBC. I want to say One.
That'd be somebody to get on here, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, Rick Priestley. Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
I think at that point I just hang up my hat and call it good.
Well, we're actually trying to get, so we've made our cutoff point. If we get Terry Crews on the show, we'll just pack up shop. We're like, all right, guys, we're done. We're done. We've hit that point. We'll just cut it on a good note. But I met Rick Priestley when I was 15. And he was in Brisbane. Wow. Yeah, he was in Brisbane for Conflict 2000 and something. Probably, yeah, it was probably, no way, I was maybe 13, 14, I can't remember. I wasn't that old. But he was there, he was at Conflict, and he was playing Bretonians. And I didn't have, I had a Bretonian army at home that was not a Bretonian army, I'm going to say, a collection of various metal miniatures.
You got a Bretonian army now.
My cousins have donated to me. I do have a Bretonian armor now, thanks to Toddy. That is a tale for later. Anyway, I'm just like, wow, these are really beautifully painted. And he's just and he sat down with me and he talked to me for a full 20 minutes about how he painted his Bretonians and really quick ways to do it.
What a rad dude!
Oh wow!
I'm like, wow,
that's really cool.
Dude's just got time to do it. All right, but interview our guest isn't Rick Priestley.
No.
Not tonight. It is the amazing Commissar Hecht. So look, with all cosplays, and we love our cosplays, what brought you into the world of cosplay to start with, or if the story goes back further, what started first? Was it cosplay or was it Warhammer?
Oh, well, I lost you guys for just 2 seconds.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
What happened?
Right. So my question was, what happened first? Was it Warhammer or was it cosplay?
Chicken or the egg?
So what happened first? So my dad took me to, like, I always loved science fiction. My father took me to Aresia 2000, and I saw all these people in costume, and I love Star Wars to begin with, and I was just like, yeah, let's do this. And then so I wanted to be, like, for the longest time I wanted to be an Imperial officer, you know, one of the guys running around in the gray or the green or the blacks uniforms, because I was just like, those guys, even though they're the bad guys, those guys are awesome, right? So 501st Rebel Legion, I've been wanting to make a costume of that. But fast forward to when I got into high school, I started playing Warhammer, like I said, 2003 during the Eye of Terror campaign, and my army was the Imperial. My army is and has always been the Imperial Guard. And I was just like, man, these guys are cool. So Aresia 2007, fast forward a little bit further, and I was like, you know what? I want to go as a Commissar. So my first outfit, I took my Cadet Air Force Blues from ROTC, modified them just a little bit, found a blue broad black brimmer, and slapped some Aquilas on there, and I was like, I'm a Commissar. And from there, it just took off. And now it's evolved into the black and the black with gold brocade and the red epaulets and whatnot, and the actual, like, black hat with red trim. So breaking down this costume, the brocade I got from eBay. I had the medals commissioned.
Ooh.
Yeah. A chap by the name of James Ford, who runs In Glass Industries on DeviantArt. However, I have yet to get in. So after it was kind of sad because I joined the Air Force in 2009. That was my last convention, too, and I had just some disposable income, so I got this all squared. I've got the medals all squared away. But then we dropped off. He and I haven't communicated since, so I don't know if he's still into the commission building and whatnot. But these medals are straight from the Medusa 5 campaign. These medals all are from the Medusa 5 campaign and sourced in the Imperial Infantryman's handbook. So
nice.
Medusa 5 campaign, right? So for those of you who are too young to remember that was basically
that was awesome.
That was the world campaign after Eye of Terror.
Yeah.
So and that was huge. So that
That's
a couple
the big one. The Voistron release was attached to.
Yeah, that was a big one. They were 100% there. Those beautiful metal models. Oh my goodness. Firstborn. What a colorful regiment. They were beautiful, man.
Out of a world campaign, and let me tell you, I never in my life felt so, like, alive when I was registering my battles on the Games Workshop Medusa 5
how
campaign.
good was that?
And when I got the Medusa star, and I was just like, oh my god! And they read the certificate out, like we did a medal ceremony each time someone got a medal.
That's
they read
cool.
the certificate out, and they presented their certificate. They printed it out, they read it out, they presented me with the certificate. I don't know where those certificates are. I'm kind of upset that I don't have them anymore.
Oh man,
but
we should,
all of them
should try and get some ones recreated. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So all the medals that are on my chest, and I've got a box of just all Medusa 5 medals. So some of the stuff that you see, I took liberties with. So the winged skull rank pips, they are not actually recognized Imperial Guard rank. but I figure, well, the Commissar, it's just all skulls and wings and flash and brocade. So I figure the shoulder boards have the rank pips, as along with on my greatcoat, which I'll pick up and show that here in a second. It's just really hot. That's why I'm not wearing it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
On my greatcoat, I have the seal of Ultramar, the seal of Ultramar.
Ooh.
So yeah. I'll pick that up right now and show it. So I will actually don this on, so that way you can see it in full glory.
Look at that. Hold on. I'm gonna lock it on. There we go.
Get to my other arm and not flail around like a gormless knob. So,
A boneless knob. It's my new insult.
Boneless knob.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look, the big. Is that a Crux Terminatus on your chest?
Yep, that is.
Whoa.
So I put the Crux Terminatus on because I figure a Commissar probably has done stuff that makes Terminators blush. So.
Oh man, where's Terry when you need him?
Yeah, right.
Terry's our resident Terminator.
That's the full. This is the full regalia. If you can see it, let me just block out the light.
Crux Terminatus. Yeah, you got the wings. Oh man, look at all that.
He's got all of it. Like it's a complete package.
The seal of Ultramar is right here.
Damn, man.
That's pretty gangster.
If you can take a look closer to it.
There we go. Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good shot.
That's nice and close. I like that.
So, and then on this side, you have the Honorifica Imperialis, the Orc skull crossed with two chain swords, Imperial Eagle, and then another Crux Terminatus, but the actual metal pin instead of that.
Yeah.
So.
God damn, there's just so much going on. I love it.
Well, I figure Commissars have so much hardware on them that they don't need an invulnerable save. The metals just take all the shots.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Because when you shoot the Commissar Pro, you do not hit pin on chest.
That was my favorite. So I have one Medusa 5 campaign medal zoomed up to show you guys in zoomed out form. So this is the High Lord's the High Lord's Merit.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, that is like really well made.
Where did you say you got those made from?
Where are these made?
So I'm gonna well, it's all wax. This is wax, and then the ribbon is what is other stuff. So I'm gonna pull up my DeviantArt real quick. And I'm going to we're talking real flashbacks.
Real flashbacks.
Yeah. Let us see. So it's Isinglass Industries, ran by a man named James Ford. He is a amazing person. However, like I said, the last time he logged on was quite some time ago, and he's on Facebook. But I've messaged him a few times in the recent past, and he hasn't been able to, or well, he just doesn't see the messages and whatnot. So,
Okay.
but that's neither here nor there. I mean, he's a great maker. Now, the Lost Pistol.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is made by a guy named Matty Mascorp.
It's a gangster name.
So he runs Mascorp Industries. He takes
Commission.
what's it called? He takes commissions.
Excellent.
Yep. So I'll spell out his name because he actually responds pretty quickly. So it's going to be, and I'll use the phonetic alphabet for those of you who are inclined phonetically. It's going to be Matty, common spelling, with and then last name I spell Mike Alpha Tango Sierra Uniform Charlie Oscar Romeo Papa.
Ooh.
We will probably throw a link into that somewhere in the
Yeah.
the tag.
So
That way people can find it.
he run.
Love anybody who goes to that amount of effort to make something so cool.
That's pretty.
Oh, so you know what's really clutch about this?
Oh, a magazine comes out.
Oh.
Just like ours.
So
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you throw it on the fire to get a little extra charge out of it?
comes out and throws it in. Yep.
That's
Yep.
gangster.
Magnetic plates and one. When I'm as skilled as he is, I'll probably put some electronics in there. That way you can hear the dwee as the
that'd be so good.
as the lost cell comes out. So
Yes.
yeah. So my skill is not as good as so Maddie makes really 1-to-1 size lost pistols, 1-to-1 size bolt pistols. He's made a plasma gun. He's my techno wizard. Everything that I could possibly ever think of that he's made, is well done. So yeah, this costume would not be realized without their help. So I want to give credit where credit is due, and appropriate. So I hope that answers everyone's questions about the cosplay.
Yeah.
No,
in a very long-winded sense.
Oh man, we're not about doing things by halves here. We absolutely adore cosplay because we're talentless retards, so we can't do it ourselves. So
Oh yeah.
Pretty much.
we bask in the glory of other people's creations.
I just look good. I'm literally just a paid mannequin at this point.
Oh, buddy.
What's been some of the more rewarding things that you've got to do with the Commissar outfit?
So the most rewarding thing I've got to do was I'm in the Air Force, as I've stated, and I got stationed in Altus, and they were asking for cosplayers to come out for a convention for the first time ever, little mini Comic-Con-esque convention for Altus, and I was just like, yeah, I'll show up. I'll show up. So I set up a booth, and everyone loved the outfit and whatnot. And there was a man named Jerry Bennett who happened to who does a lot of comic art for Marvel, Lucasfilm, Saibon, Mattel, you name it.
Oh, wow.
He's a local Oklahoma artist, and he, like I said, he does a lot of work for those big companies. As a matter of fact, I have some of his artwork right here. So he does Star Wars recruitment posters.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
oh yeah. And he loved it so much that he was like, so talk to me about Warhammer 40K. And I got to talk to him about Warhammer 40K. And the man's just got a giant heart. He just gives so much. During the entire convention, a majority of his proceeds went to a starting mom and pop store called the Whirlwind Book Bar here in Altus. It opens up in April, in the end of this April, and it's basically a shop to let people to promote literacy for children and young adults and all that stuff.
That is something
So
to get behind.
It's a bookstore, but it's also they call it a bar. I don't know if they're actually going to be able to sell alcohol, but I'm all for it. But it's a library / bookstore / watering hole, and he gave most of his proceeds to that. And so in honor of that, just generosity, everyone gave him his thanks, but I actually took a medal off my chest and pinned it to him in a standard Imperial Guard award ceremony.
That's really rad, man.
So So, and he loved, and like, he's just like, wow, this Warhammer 40K, you get passionate about it. I was like, hell yeah. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I was passionate about it when I started. Although I swore off any other army besides the Imperial Guard, but when I started expanding, I had to expand due to necessity.
This is true. This is true.
So,
As you say, I've got some Imperial Guard. I think there's just a couple of them pinned to the chest here. Of this guy.
oh, you are so lucky I can't shoot you with a lost bolt right now.
I'm just really disappointed. My Heretic Astartes shirt is in the wash.
Oh, buddy. It's just a white beater covered in blood.
Yeah. It's my World Eater singlet.
So yeah, so that, 40K has kind of been a good hobby for me. It's definitely showed me a creative outlet that I didn't think possible. Like, I enjoy painting the models. I enjoy cosplaying.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, I enjoy doing the getting to meet people that you wouldn't rightfully meet, outside of like certain social circles, right? It gets you out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Oh, hell yeah.
You don't. So it was kind of funny. My friends back home in Massachusetts, like, if I was to tell you all their jobs and what they do for like fun and whatnot, that us, like, aside science fiction, aside Warhammer 40K, aside D&D and all that stuff, you would think that we would never be in the same room together. Like, like that's kind of the beauty of the hobby, And I met most of my friends in high school, but through D&D, and then through D&D, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna do game." Like I said, I got introduced in 2003, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna go to this place called Games Workshop. You down for it?" I was like, "Sure." And then I got hooked from there.
Oh, man. So you mentioned you're in the Air Force, and
yes.
You're always surprised about the people you see who play wargaming. So do many of your co-workers know about your cosplay and your 40K obsession?
Yes. So it's actually been a running. I would say a gag / homage. My nickname is actually Commissar. My actually, and I got that. Well, so the first thing that happened was that one of my airmen stumbled on, and I shameless self plug, and I do apologize for doing it. One of my airmen stumbled onto my YouTube channel, same name, Commissar Hecht. I air Warhammer 40K battle reports and whatnot, and he's like, and overnight he showed all of his friends. And then all of his friends showed all of his friends, and then soon my squadron commander's like, "Hey, what's this Commissar I keep hearing about?" And I was just like, "God damn it!"
Yeah.
So I had to explain it to him, and he's just like, "Oh, okay." So my squadron commander, he was a major, and I'm a staff sergeant. So there's a bit of a rank gulf.
Okay, so wait, look, for those of us who aren't American, so how many rank levels are there between those two?
So you have, the enlisted are Echo, and
Okay.
the officers are Oscar. So you have Echo 1, which is your airman basic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to Echo 9, which is Chief Master Sergeant. Okay. Then you have Oscar 1, which is second lieutenant, to Oscar 10, basically, which is General of the Air Force, right? That's 5-star general. Okay. We've never had a 5-star general, or rarely do you have a 5-star general that's like normally in times of greater conflict. So normally people stop at Oscar 9. So I am a Echo 5 staff sergeant.
Yep.
My major is an Oscar 4. So quite the gulf. Quite the gulf. So, yeah, I love our squadron commander, and so during one of our commander's call, he's like, "Commissar," I was like, "Yes, sir," and he goes, "Walk us through this brief." And I had to brief a few things about our mission and whatnot. So, needless to say, I tried to keep it separate, right? I tried to keep the YouTube channel separate from the military life. I mentioned I was in the Air Force, but then my entire squadron heard about it some way, shape, or form. It's kind of funny.
So you just embrace it?
Yeah. When they want to talk about like, well, what's it like to do the YouTube thing or all that stuff, I tell them, I was like, look, I'm doing it for 2 reasons. One, I want to try and get monetized, which is really hard nowadays.
Oh my god.
You need to have 1,000 subscribers. That's the first benchmark, and the second benchmark is 4,000 hours annually. And so the reason why I want to get it monetized is because the Air Force pays my bills, right?
Yep.
And so I want to do as much good as I can while I'm still on this earth, and that would be monetizing the channel and doing it for charity. So putting a majority of the proceeds that I do get into charity-based work. Before monetization, we've donated so far. The community has donated $450. $300 of that was to Wounded Warriors, which is Help for Heroes. If you're the British and Australian program, that's the American version of it. And then the other 150 was to medical supplies to Doctors Without Borders. So
that's really cool, man.
So yeah, it's like I said, this at first. So it's funny. At first I started this channel, the Commissar Hecht channel, as a fluke. I was just like, what would it would be funny just to show my hijinks during battle reports or during D&D sessions. And then it picked up, and I was like, people are just watching because they're bored. And then I got around like 300 subscribers, and I was like, oh my god, I've actually started something. So it was just a hobby thing that just picked up from there. So yeah, it's still a hobby. My primary job is 1, to be a good husband, 2, to be a good father, 3, to be an awesome security forces member, and then 4 is making sure that I'm taking care of family. Well, 3 is taking care of family, and then 4 is the YouTube channel. So
goals.
Yeah,
that's pretty good, man. Look, I commend your tenacity for sticking with YouTube.
It's been so long since Brinley's gone on his.
No, we're not. I'm not going to derail this into how much I hate, how much I despise YouTube. But
while I am a casualty of YouTube's algorithms per se, I'm not gonna upturn my nose to it, because basically the whole hullabaloo started when a bunch of distasteful people tried to make money off of their distasteful videos. Yep. And
they were pretty awful.
Yeah, they were pretty awful. And YouTube got slapped in England and in Germany for monetizing hate speech and all that stuff. And because Google is the parent company and they had to abide by international law, YouTube had to do something. And you could get into the argument of, does it curtail free speech? Is YouTube a platform or a service? Or sorry, is YouTube a utility or a platform? And get into all of that mishigas, right? But at the end of the day, while I suffer from it, I'm not going to. I understand it was done for a cause, and I can get behind that cause for not letting bad people get money off of a service.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
So, I do have a Twitch, but unfortunately, like I said, my computer's a dinosaur, and Twitch does not like the fact that my computer's a dinosaur.
Oh boy.
So I've only got
Yeah.
a few videos up there. They're from the D&D campaign.
Yeah.
on
Well,
the-
you can
on
the cool thing about Twitch is that if you've got stuff on YouTube, you can transfer those videos onto Twitch. So there's a little bit of content for people to watch.
Not anymore.
Oh
Not
wait,
anymore.
oh, you have to be affiliate. You have to be
Yeah.
affiliate. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
you have to be affiliate now.
My apologies. I do forget that.
No, it's all right. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine.
We
I
snuck in with affiliate early on.
I discovered that just recently, and it's very rude that they changed it, because I have thousands of hours. I have actually filled up a full terabyte worth of video content
Aw.
that now I can't upload. God damn it!
Aw.
Yeah. We managed to. Look, when you come onto Twitch, we will 100% be there throwing our support behind you, because we're all about the platform. We're all about that.
Well,
And
in the chat, it says our friend Favnikor has said he actually subbed your channel in preparation for today's interview.
yeah.
Oh, well, much love.
This is one of our legendary regulars, and he's all about
most
supporting. It's all about supporting those in the hobby and the people we support, and so it's really good. But yeah, like, guys, go check out the YouTube channel. Check it out. Get your ad blocker on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any ads so far. Because I'm not monetized. I'm gonna say this. I am not a striking scorpion. I am not a mini wargamer. I'm not,
Oh man,
ego
those guys.
I'm
Alexis.
pretty. I would say neophyte. On the grading scale of Imperial Guard, I'm just above White Shield.
Well, you've survived. What was the book? 15 hours.
Yeah, 15 hours. I loved that book, by the way.
That was a good book.
God.
That was a good book.
Speaking about books, and not to get into any spoilers, who here has finished the Gonsko series?
Oh yeah.
No,
Scotty, have you finished it yet?
not even close. I'm
All right. Okay. So look, I just want to. I've finished reading War Master very recently. Actually, it was in celebration of our interview with Dan Abnett.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic book. I feel like it is a close call between War Master for my favorite and Necropolis. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I was about to say Necropolis. So have you finished the Anarch yet? That came out just in January.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I've finished it.
Oh man, if you have not finished, so because I'm a dad, I can't read a whole lot, because my daughter is a three-nager. She's too random.
That's such a good word.
It's true. It's true.
Oh boy, it's so true.
So, yes, Miss Morgan has an attitude and a flair that I cannot match, and I don't know where she gets it from. It's probably me.
Just blame the mother.
Blame
Yeah,
Mom.
no. See, because if I blame the mother, she will kill me in my sleep. So
Oh yeah, well that's fair enough. Look, that's okay then.
Sleep after.
At least you'll get some sleep.
only in death does duty end.
It's like the motto of parenting. We should play a game. It'll be called is this an imperial quote or advice from a parenting book for teenagers?
Main, kill, burn.
A moody teenager in his goth phase.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gold.
And if he asks for absinthe, he's on a Channel 4 TV show.
That's it. Yes.
So we had a question in the chat earlier from
We had a
from
whole bunch of questions. Can you just go through all of these questions?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
go through
While we're here.
By the way,
So-
lovely Imperial Guard that you're painting. I like the white armor.
Oh, these ones. Okay, so these ones are. Hold on, These are my acid dogs that I'm desperately painting for a competition on. Oh my goodness, it is like Saturday, and I'm
Yeah.
so screwed. So I've got a whole pile of mortar teams that I've been busy painting, as you can see. So they've just been kind of like painted.
Oh my god!
Pulled off the base, but it's okay. It's okay. They're all safe. They're safe in their box, and then they're gonna get stuck on these very snazzy heavy weapons bases that are slowly being put together. So it's all on an urban theme. Like I couldn't just paint them on the base. See, that one was probably my favorite. So it's like all fallen pillars and stuff. So it's all very.
Ooh, very nice. I like the rebar.
Yeah, that is it's like this tiny. It's actually a filter mesh that I pulled out of like this disused pool. Like I don't know, it's probably someone's pool, but it was a filter mesh.
Oi, this is ours now.
I'm like, I could use this. I need this more than you.
In true orky fashion.
And so, it's there now, and it's making some fantastic bases. But I've got that, and then I've got small Imperial brigade over here.
Ooh, I see a bang blade.
And they're looking very tasty. If you guys want to see more of that crazy airbrushing, go check out the Instagram channel.
So, let's answer questions while I show you guys. I can't wait to unbox her and paint her.
Oh, that is a tidy model.
It's rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. I got her yesterday, so I actually have two of her. So one to keep in the box and one to screw up and paint.
Nice.
That model almost makes me want to go to be a loyalist.
Almost. Well, I have Eisenhorn here somewhere too.
Yeah,
so.
I think I took your grey knights off you, Toddy. You filthy
You did?
heretic. Yeah.
That would be the last of the loyalists that I've got these days.
Oh, buddy, we'll sort you out in due course.
So let's answer questions, shall we?
Yeah, read out fast questions, buddy.
Yeah, so ballpark figure, what's the cost over all the years to collect that uniform and any cosplay props?
Wow.
Do you want to answer this question, or do we want to move on?
We can black out your face.
I will answer this question. So
we can black out your face and mute
pistol,
your voice so your wife doesn't find out. We can.
Yeah.
So the locked pistol was, I want to say, around $200 American, and the medals, all the medals. So I'm not wearing all of them, but a majority of them. Plus the box was about 300, I want to say. 300, 400 American. And then the hat was 50, I want to say British pounds. The brocade was 20 British pounds. My riding boots. I actually have official. Yeah, if I can actually point the camera down without losing. There we go. These actual riding boots are $50,
Oh, that's pretty
and
good.
and the trench coat is a London Fog storm coat. So it's a London Fog, which is, I mean, if London Fogs usually run between $100 to $200.
Now, did you go new, or did you try and purchase as many things as possible off eBay, secondhand, third-party sourcing?
So all this. So besides the props, everything was new, and I purchased via through eBay. So I am an eBay warrior when it comes to cobbling together a. Because I would love to. I will say this. I would love to make. To sew and make an actual costume, but the one costume I did help sew and make, it was my Jedi outfit for one of the cosplays. It just, I don't have the time anymore. So because I don't have the time anymore, you know, something's got to give. Something's got to give, and it's usually my wallet. So.
Oh my god, the pain, it's so real, it hurts.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
All right, next question.
So, well, actually, that comes in not too bad, man. Like the prices, I was expecting it to be a little bit higher.
Yeah, Five was saying he expected if it was anything other than $2,000, he was going to be impressed. So
yeah,
it's quite good.
I'm a thrifty son of a bitch. So
that is quite good.
Have you got any conventions coming up? Any plans to go anywhere? And are you presenting again?
So I will be. So my wife and I are actually going to Japan. We are PCSing, which is called a permanent change of station. If you are active duty in the U.S. military, you get to whichever base you go to, you don't stay for long.
Yep.
So and it's to prevent stagnation. It's to prevent a career death, basically. So my first duty station was in 2009, was Edwards Air Force Base after basic and tech school, which was at Lackland. So my first duty station was at Lackland, where I got my teeth kicked in several times. Then Edwards Air Force Base from 2009 to 10, and then I got PCS to RAF Lakenheath from 10 to 15. I met my wife there. And married her, obviously, in England. And then we got PCS to Altus from 15 to basically 19. And then now from July to 4 years down the road, I'll be stationed in Japan. So I am hoping to come to a Australian convention. I am hoping to come to actually Brisbane and see you guys.
Well,
so
BrisCon, man, like every April, just after Anzac Day. In fact, as a service member, I strongly suggest coming down and experiencing a Brisbane Anzac Day. If not just to come to an RSL and chat to the diggers, then to actually go to the march and watch them bitch and moan as they march past.
That's pretty much
I'm on point there.
Hey, look, we all like for the civilians in the chat, we all like to be able to go down to the pub, have a pot, and play a game of 2-Up.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sure do.
And then 3 hours later, fight one of us drunk. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like you won't even be at the pub. This will be at like a servo 2 blocks down the road, and and some cranky old warrant officer is like complain that a pack of durries is like $50 extra than he used to pay back in 1992, and
you fight over the last 7-Eleven pie.
that's it.
It's 6 in the morning.
Oh, let me tell you, I've gotten into some interesting debates with my fellow British counterparts, and German and French counterparts when it comes to who can outdrink who.
What are the Brits called? The squatties. Squatties.
Yeah, well, so the squad mates are squaddies. So I had the privilege of working with the RAF regiment, which is basically the Air Force equivalent to security forces. And they were a good bunch of blokes. I'll tell you that much. Damn near hilarious. I'm not going to be able to say any of the jokes that they've in the chat, but well, I will be able to tell this. So we were in a joint exercise with the British, the French, and the Germans, and we were all talking. It was friendly banter back and forth, and finally, we got onto the "don't mention the war" joke. And so the Germans basically, I don't know how they started it, but basically they were saying that their new tornado fighters were pretty good, and I was just like, but they can't beat the A-10 when it comes to ground combat. And you know, the British were like, well, we loaned you those tornadoes, and then the French sat in a corner because they couldn't. Huh?
They're starting to play that game. Well, we gave them to you.
Yeah. It was so the French were like, well, we've got you know, F-16s, and I was like, yeah, on loan from us. So you know, we got into that state, and then finally the joke is, everyone who won the last war stand up. And so all the British airmen and American airmen stand up, and so did the French, and I was like, hey, you lost.
and then there's one German, and he's just like, oh wait.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that was we got into that joke, and needless to say, there was not so nice repercussions from that. We got a stern talking to from all of our COs. And
really, no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of people were hurt that day. A lot of people developed feelings that day.
A lot of feelings were hurt.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But it was all in jest. And then of course the next day when we had the giant exercise, one of the French heavy gunners basically fired his weapon so much that the barrel almost melted.
Nice. That's commitment.
Well, yeah. Well, when they say till it goes click, they're not joking.
Yeah. Some pent up aggression in there.
You just keep going.
Look at it, like pretend something. Aww.
That notional enemy still isn't dead.
Oh. Here's the thing though. Simunitions hurt. I've been hit by simunitions. They suck.
Yes.
Um,
Are they the paint based ones, or are they the rubber based?
No. So yeah, they're paint based. So it's a soap round basically. It's a basically die marking cartridge, and it goes. I think it's like. It doesn't go as far and it doesn't go as fast. I can't remember the actual the actual metrics for how fast it goes, but it hurts. Everyone says, "Oh, it's just like paintball." Nah, paintball leaves a welt. This makes you bleed.
Yeah.
I mean, you can bleed in paintball, but not in the thigh, not in the meaty bits.
None of the bits that you like.
Got a comment here. Commissar Hecht. He protect, he attack, but most importantly, if you flee, he shoots you in the back.
That's gold.
Well, that Favre,
Yeah.
that was Favre.
Yes, it was.
I do have a tendency to shoot people in the back if they get into my line of sight.
What's a left and right of arc anyway? Who cares?
My 90-degree firing arc is right here.
Right here, right in front of you. Right, you're right there, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, it's fun being in the military. I've been in for 10 years, and I've never. I think I'll be in for another at least 10 more.
You're a lifer.
Oh yeah, I am. I enjoy
right.
it, but even the military will sooner or later I will have a shelf life, and I'll have to clean the shelf and expire. However, Warhammer will never die. So
Right.
That's it. Huh. Real war is only temporary.
yeah.
Real War was
The Emperor's War is eternal.
War is eternal.
So I have let's talk about some theories. I believe we're gearing up for Horus Heresy Electric Boogaloo 2.
Oh, we sure are, buddy.
Okay.
Uh,
I've actually got a theory on this one. Where are you going with it?
So this is what I think. I think, but it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn to Horus Heresy Mark II, right? So they just re-released Abaddon for the Black Legion, and finally he's yeah. I mean, finally he's a right and proper model.
He's one big boy.
Not that the old model was bad. It just
No, it's okay. You can say it. It wasn't real. Little Abaddon can't hurt you.
So no. Like Games Workshop does really good with its models. It just some of the old metal models are really tough to work with, and
True.
Abaddon when he was metal was really like I have friends who play Chaos, and
He was horrible. Just saying he was horrible because I was
they pinned there was a running gag. I've got more pins in frickin' Abaddon than bolt shells on the field. So,
Oh man.
All those arms just kept dropping off.
Yeah. So, but I think it's really interesting to see Abaddon remade. I thought he was smaller than Gilliman. Or at least I was supposed to be smaller than Gilliman. Correct?
No. Have you read the Black Legion book?
I have not, unfortunately.
Okay. At the end of Talon of Horus, which is the first one of the two, after he goes a couple rounds with Siggy, the main character, Abaddon's sitting in like a gestation tank, and the main character like walks in and looks at him and just takes stock of how big he is.
One thick boy.
He's a big boy. He's like maybe Primarch size big boy.
Yes.
So, I mean, like I said, I don't know how big Abaddon was during the Horus Heresy, and I know that he's been infused with all kinds of demon nope. So, so like I get that, and I get that he's a very dangerous opponent. But I didn't think he was as big as Gilliman. Like even with the Chaos Gods pouring their essence into him as their chosen champion.
Well, no, they don't pour their essence into him. He refuses them. That's why he's so dangerous.
Yeah,
he's not
they want him, but he keeps saying, "Well, no."
Yeah, he is not a slave to the god like Horus was.
No.
That's why he's all Big Daddy now.
So
he's the current Chaos Rider. He's like the Big Daddy Chaos Rider at the moment. Is it ADB?
Well, ADB's handling the Black Legion books.
Oh yeah.
But you've got all kinds of people, I guess, who can do.
Well, Guy Haley is writing the Plague Wars, and that tells Mutarian's side and Gilliman's side.
Yeah.
While I don't like, so I prefer, and this is just bias because I love the Guard. I prefer Guard books, but Guy Haley is such a accomplished writer that I actually listened to Dark Imperium, and I'm going to buy Plague Wars when it comes out on audiobook.
It's a very good book.
And Dark Imperium just kind of opened up my eyes to like, oh, the Ultramarines aren't just stuck up jackasses with, you know, the Codex Astartes wedged in their butt cheeks.
But where does it go?
How else do they carry it around?
How the hell do they carry it around?
So, you know, I think that it was good to actually see the you know, Rabute Gilliman not as a walking internet meme, but like a
good.
Yeah.
you know, like as someone who thinks, you know, he's not. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say that like people try and play him off as like Marcus Aurelius or you know, Julius Caesar. I think he's less egotistical than that. He's
What I found really cool about, especially in Dark Imperium, because I hadn't read Plague Wars yet, was just how you got to see Gilliman. Like, if you've read the Horus Heresy, then you've read about the Primarchs, and you kind of get an idea about how their characters operate, and you do see progression in Gilliman's character. I think when you read Dark Imperium, and when he wakes up and he looks around at what his father's empire has become, and he's like, shit. Oh dear.
But I mean,
like, oh, really? Did you do? No.
But I think the divining factor, like as upsetting as it would be to wake up and see your father's Imperium, like eradicate itself into basically primates slinging shit at each other, comparatively to what your father built, you know, what the Emperor was building.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing with with the rise of the religion, of the Imperial Creed, the cult of the Imperium, I think that's what kept the Imperium kind of limping along. I'm not in any way, shape, or form basically saying, oh yeah, it's just the Imperial Creed made the Imperium strong. Sort of, it made it resilient.
You heard it here first, people. Lorgar saved the Imperium.
Save the Imperium.
Well, actually, it was Euphrates Keeler that saved the Imperium.
True.
Because she's the first saint. But you know, it. I think without the faith in the God Emperor, the Imperium would be in a worse position than it.
Oh yeah.
Because so there's this line of thinking to where there's no atheists in foxholes, you know, in the general sense. And true, there are no, and I say, no, there's atheists in foxholes, but they got to believe in something greater than themselves in that foxhole. But you're just taking that to the nth degree with the Imperium of Man, you know, to where, and then of course you're adding the fact that they have seen the Emperor do divine miracles and whatnot, and they have seen the Emperor, you know, and his saints, you know, come into battles that like guardsmen would have never won had not Saint Celestine or any of her Gemini came in. So, you know, the argument is, well, the Imperium has lost their way to the Imperial truth. True, and I think the Imperial truth does work in some fashion. But when you talk about the fact that Saint Celestine can take a lost cannon to the face and laugh, and then get resurrected if she does take a lost cannon to the face, go ahead.
I think, okay, the thing with the 40k universe that is so incredibly intricate, so people are just like, oh, the Emperor, you know, he didn't claim to be a god, he didn't want to be a god, all this stuff, and he, you know, claimed to be behind science, and he actually tried to eradicate religion and keep like the essence of chaos from mankind by, you know, no psychers, all that other stuff. But you have to remember the 40k universe is a thing that is built on, like, the popular conscious belief of the population. So our best example is the orcs. Like, if they believe it, it happens.
Yeah.
It happened.
Yep.
Because
If they believe it.
they're really too stupid as a species to argue otherwise. But with
Well, I don't think the orcs they're stupid. I think they just believe. I think because of their groupthink, right?
Yeah.
How they believe the universe works. It is anathema to reality. So like
Reasoning.
it's really interesting to see how the warp tries to taint the orcs, and the orcs are like, nah.
nah, that doesn't work.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
My favorite explanation of Weird Boys is when demonic possession goes severely wrong for the demon, and it's just stuck there now inside the orc boy, and the orc's like, yeah, okay.
Okay, we can do this thing. Okay, and so humanity, like they've spent so long, like basically fortifying themselves as a human race within the faith of the Emperor. It now manifests as like divine entities such as Saint Celestine and like the hexagrammic wards on the Grey Knights, which is this is what I love about the 40k universe. It's just so wide open.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's definitely like a child's dream come true. You mean, there's magic and science? Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. It's so
There
good.
isn't one reality.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what was your what's led you to believe that we're heading for a Horus Heresy 2? I would like to know your thoughts on this.
So what led me to believe Horus Heresy 2 is that the fact that they woke up Gilliman. So for those of you who are not familiar with the lore of 40k, Gilliman was technically second in line to Sanguinius. So the Emperor, well, third in line if we count Horus, but Horus doesn't count after the heresy.
Yeah.
So Sanguinius wins by default. So Sanguinius was second in line to Horus to become basically the Emperor Ascendant after the Emperor ascends the Golden Throne. So basically, the Emperor wanted Horus, Sanguinius, Gilliman, basically all the Primarchs to basically carve the Imperium up into Imperium Secundus, Tertiary, so on and so forth. So that way, when he shuts off the Eye of Terror and fights the Chaos Gods within the Warp, the Imperium could be self-sustaining and rule in its entirety, along with the Imperial Webway. Well, we all know how the Imperial Webway turned out. Thank you, Magnus. So the fact is that the reason why I believe that we're going for a Horus Heresy Mark II is because out of all the Loyalist Primarchs that are dead, you really only have Sanguinius. Out of all the traitor Primarchs that are dead, you only have Horus.
Well, what about Kurz? What about Ferrus Manus?
So
True.
Ferrus Manus, I don't think is dead because he was pretty heavily augmentated even by Primarch standards. Like most of his body was mechanical. So I don't think that if Manus is dead, which would be fine if he is and fine if he isn't. If Manus is dead and Kurz is dead, then you've got 2 and 2, right? 2 dead on either side. But I don't think Kurz is dead simply because even a Calexis assassin, right, while beastly in its own right, can't. I mean, you could kill a Primarch maybe as an assassin, but that's a tall order, like a highly tall order.
That suggests
And you basically
want to get killed though.
Did he want to get killed? Well, now we're getting into like the conspiracy theory of did Cruz want to get killed as a means of repentance? And the answer is, I don't think so, because the Night Lords aren't trying to redeem themselves in any way, shape, or form, given the current canon, right?
This is true.
They're not like, and I don't mean to get into speculation, but they're not like the Alpha Legion where we've heard reports.
Oh,
both
you
from the Codex
speculate.
and
You,
no.
this is what we're here for.
I don't mean to get into speculation as in like churning the already like, oh, I'm Alfarius meme. You know what I mean?
See there,
So
Hey.
so you know, I'm trying to be balanced in my reasoning, if that makes any sense. So we've seen Alpha Legion in both the codexes and in some of the stories fight Chaos Space Marines. Now, you could chalk it up to, well, Chaos fights Chaos all the time. Sure. But why would they be doing it when they're in the middle of a siege on an Imperial planet? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't. You could go to the fact that you could go to the Horse Heresy book where we get introduced to Alfarius, and where he starts slipping into chaos, and it's like, oh well, this is how the Emperor planned it. Like, are you on the same chapter as us? Because pretty sure Istvan 3 happened, and pretty sure you were declared, excommunicatus traitoris at that point. You know. So doing the Emperor's will, I'll take no for 500, Bob. So it's very interesting because there's certainly conflicting evidence for both Kurz and Alfarius. And getting back to the greater point of why do I believe that Horus Heresy 2 is about to kick off. Lionel Johnson's healed. That's in the Dark Angels Codex in the back of the book.
Yes. My Primarch has awoken. Yes, this is true.
Yep.
Someone go from his nap.
Someone finally brewed him some strong enough tea.
It's like, I found the joy.
Vulcan is a eternal. He's a prenuptial or a perpetual.
Yep.
And there's been reports of him basically waking up and coming into being. And then you have the fact that the 13th Legion, Leman Russ, hasn't come out of the warp after the Great Eye of Terror rip, right?
Yeah.
Those are kind of your big four. You have Gilliman, you have Lionel, you have Vulcan, and then you have Russ. Those are your big four Primarchs that would come out and create Imperium Secundus.
And if they try to pull an AOS on us,
Calm down.
I'm gonna burn things.
You burn your army too.
I will burn that. I will burn my Dark Elf army again.
Revel in the glory that is Sigma.
As far as chaos goes, so we have Abaddon, who's the ascendant to Horus. We have Magnus, who's running around. We have Mortarion, who's running around. Proturabo has not been seen. We know Fulgrim's running around somewhere,
Doing his thing.
which I'm kind of shocked that Fulgrim did not get introduced in this latest round of Slaneshi.
Goodness, yeah.
The demons, yeah.
That is strange.
The Celestial Demons debut.
Don't put all your eggs in
now
one
I know,
basket, guys.
I know he's Emperor's Children, but I mean, you would think, or maybe Games Workshop is just holding their powder dry.
Yeah.
So, which is fine. I'd rather have a slow burn than Games Workshop introduce one Primarch after another, after another, after another, after another, and then basically be like, bam, Horus Heresy 2. I want it to be that slow burn. Because if I'm wrong, then I want to know where the story's going without being led on. And if I'm right, then I get to sit back and enjoy the suspenses it builds. So there's that. I do not think the Emperor or Horus will resurrect. I think it's just going to be left to the surviving Primarchs. Because if they were to resurrect the Emperor or Horus, it's basically Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Definitely agree there.
I'm still salty the fact that Karl Franz was the avatar of Sigmar and died.
Oh, yeah, that was
So upsetting.
That was upsetting.
Oh, Franzy boy.
On new levels.
No, I get it. You can't have Sigmar and Karl Franz in the same damn room.
This is true.
But it's pretty. It was pretty upsetting when he died.
Oh hell yeah!
I still can't square this circle of the Dark Elves being on the side of Order.
Okay, I've actually had this explained to me. So, all right, Dark Elves are not good. Order does not mean you're a good guy. Order means you're not destroying things for the sake of it. You're not undead, and you're not chaos. That's order. If you build civilizations, that's order. If you have hierarchy, top down, order.
Yeah, well, the same could be said for Nagash. I mean,
yeah, but he's like Nagash, like his own little skelly boy now.
He's
yeah.
Skelly boy.
One with the doodles.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I'm not going to refute that because that makes some sort of twisted logic. But at the same time, you have a lot of a lot of things could fit into that, like into that rubric.
Mm-hmm.
You know, world building, hierarchy structure.
Yeah, absolutely. Just that order means that you're not worshipping the Chaos God. And
True.
yeah,
True.
like
Yeah.
Chaos still builds its own stuff, but it does it in the name of the gods.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes a little bit more sense.
That's right. I still don't like the crap that comes out of his mouth either, but it's all right.
Yeah.
He's okay to have an opinion whether it's wrong or not.
Wrong.
But yeah, as far as 40k goes, I think it's going to be Horus Heresy 2. I would like to see Vulcan come out because I think that'd be a legitimate model to build and paint.
Consider he's a perpetual. Like I'll actually and he's already made appearances in like massive series like the Beast Arises and all these other ones. Like the fact that we don't really have like a really cool 40k model is upsetting.
It is. I'm curious how they will reintroduce I forget his name now.
Ugadi Khan?
Yeah, him.
Do you know,
him. I'm curious.
Do you know what's cool about that? That's actually his superpower.
Yeah.
You know how all the Primarchs have like latent psychic abilities?
He's just coming back to life.
Yeah.
Games Workshop have done a little bit of like cool fluff building, where the whole thing about Jagadi Khan is if he's not in your mind, if you're not thinking about him constantly, he's easy to forget.
Huh?
Oh.
That's why that's their explanation for why there's not much on the white scars until recently.
Yeah, I'm curious about to see what Jakata-Khan, how he comes out, and certainly how Lehman Russ comes out, because I thought he was going to come out when they introduced Magnus, because that would have been like a wonderful like head to head, like, hey, this is what's up. Now it makes sense that they did Rabute Gilliman instead of Magnus, or instead of Russ, but Rabute Gilliman, Mortarian, and Magnus.
That'd be a throwdown.
Huh?
That'd be an absolute throwdown. That would be.
Oh
Be
yeah,
so good.
yeah.
Gilliman's fought 2 Primarchs before, though.
Yeah, true.
Gilliman, has he fought 2
He
Primarchs?
fought Lorgar and Angron at the same time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And he did okay.
He did okay.
yeah.
I mean,
For a dude who's
you
not
can,
known,
you can only do so much against Angron and Logar.
right?
Like if you do okay,
yeah, well, okay for a dude who's not known for his fighting prowess.
It's pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Um,
outstanding.
I don't know if we'll see an equal comeback. I kind of don't want to. It's not the role of the Imperium to be on top or to be on equal footing with its enemies. It's the whole
No, you're absolutely right. There is certainly an undercurrent of underdog mentality when it comes to the Imperium. However, I will counterpunch with this. We have been doing the underdog thing so well that I'd like to see us not necessarily be equal, but be just as dangerous. So, like, I believe Belisarius Claw is about to start doing some major tech heresy in the name of the Omnissiah. Not that he's already not done enough tech heresy by making
Hasn't he tech
brand new Space Marine.
Primaris though?
Hey?
Hasn't he tech heresy the shit out of Primaris though?
No, I mean, like, so
Technically, he's got an
So-
AI, right?
yeah, so I'm talking about like the Men of Iron
Right.
AI,
Oh yeah.
like because they introduced that in Blackstone.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Isn't
know,
that just wait?
we
Isn't that
have-
just like an old Imperial? Isn't he like just an old Imperial
Robot? Yeah.
robot, like from
yeah.
fucking real
No,
long time ago?
So an Imperial robot is different from the Men of Iron. An Imperial robot is an Imperial robot is a Imperial Guard dreadnought. Basically, it's a
Oh,
it's
I
nice.
think Brinley was sprouting some propaganda.
Yeah.
no. I'm
Understood.
not spreading propaganda. The Imperial Guard robot was part of the roster for the Imperial Guard Codex 2nd edition. And it was considered a dreadnought class model. Now the Men of Iron was a shout out to Dan Abnett and First and Only, was a STC construct
That's
or
right.
an STC template that was designed to basically function like guardsmen, except they had true AI, learning AI. We learned that the STC in First and Only was corrupted by, I want to say, either Nurgle or Khorne. I can't remember what. And when they found the STC, it murdered a whole bunch of dudes before Gaunt put the stop to that and tap danced all over its face.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Walks into said chamber and goes, no,
Mm,
no, all the no, and
Yep. And then throws a demo charge at it. No, I think that the Men of Iron are going to be reintroduced I want to actually see the Dark Mechanicum get fleshed out as an army. As a
Yes.
full-scale army.
Yes.
What are you talking, Todd?
They've already started it with the Lord of Discordant. So, and whatever the hell he's writing, I forget what it's called, Crawler Fiend or whatever it is.
The screeching spider.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And the fact that they introduced the what are they called, the neo-cultists in the Blackstone Fortress game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's getting there. They're certainly introducing all the old factions that you would play in 30K in 40K. So why not? Why not make the conclusion that Horus Heresy 2 is coming around?
Oh boy, we just need a horse clone.
Nope.
They're
It's dead. They're all dead.
all dead.
So
And Fabius is no longer interested in anything remotely like that.
well, that's funny because Fabius Bile is certainly a guy that would try and recreate a clone of something,
Well,
whether it.
He did.
He did.
One
he
naughty
re-
boy.
He recreated Horus.
Did he really?
Yeah, he successfully did it.
And another one.
Yeah.
And a
I'm
bad
on to you, Scotty, because right here in my hands.
Ah,
I'm getting through it right now. But yeah, no. So in the Talon of Horus novel, where Abaddon is found again, and they go on a pilgrimage and they go back to the home of the Sons of Horus in the Eye of Terror after it's been had the absolute shit blown out of it by the Emperor's children, and the Emperor's children carted Horus's bones away, and then they gave them to Fabius, who cloned a new Horus. And when Abaddon went and met this new Horus, the first thing he did was punch a hole through it with the Talon and completely ruin it. And these days, Fabius is trying to save humanity. He's not doing some petty little job by bringing back Horus. He's out to save all of humankind.
I don't know. Fabius is one of those guys that went off the deep end during the Horus Heresy. I don't know if sanity is his forte.
Look, I was going to say, by Josh Reynolds, read these.
Read
Yeah.
Clone Lord and the one before that, Primogenitor.
Primogenitor.
Yeah, they are fantastic books, and it's a really good insight into what, like, someone like Fabius, who's been around from the get-go, what he's up to now.
And what he plans to, not just yet, what he plans to be doing in the future.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm certainly interested in it. Actually, the one thing I'm curious of is where the hell is Ahriman? He's in the webway somewhere, but no one knows where he is exactly. Not even the Eldar, and that's frightening.
What do you guys mean? He's right here. He's just hanging out here.
What's the bean's name? Shigora?
There's Chigura.
Yeah, Chigora's got him. He's having tea.
Chilling out.
So, my thought is that if they were to do some BS by bringing back, and I wouldn't say BS because it's Games Workshop property, so like whatever we speculate here or think within reason is definitely like 3 sheets to the wind compared to like their design team.
Right.
But I think that what would be the only reasonable explanation for bringing back Horus and the Emperor is that the Eldar Death Guard Yvrain just basically implodes after eating up all the souls of all the dead Eldar. Like,
but Horus' soul is gone.
Is it?
Yeah, well, the Emperor destroyed him completely. He didn't just kill him. The blast that the Emperor used to banish Horus made sure that there was nothing left.
Literally nothing left.
That's pretty.
well, true.
Pretty ruthless.
True, I forget about that.
So that he couldn't be reborn in the war.
Well, now hold on.
That's right,
I think we're all assuming here that GW doesn't retcon any of their lore. So
Oh well, you know.
that's
Oh, don't start that shit.
that's.
Yeah, saw that coming.
True.
I mean,
He
Games
did.
Workshop does a pretty good job of retconning what they need to retcon and not retcon unnecessarily. And I'll say that now and stick to it because it's probably going to bite me in the butt later. But I really do think that they retcon the parts that need to be retconned out because either it makes sense or it doesn't to them to the grand scheme of things. Because what's Games Workshop? It's not just telling a story; it's a toy company, and I think a lot of people lose sight of that. Because they have Black Library, because they're invested into this lore and whatnot. And I hate calling Games Workshop a toy company, but in essence, if you boil everything down, that's what it is. They're there.
Action figures.
It's
It's a
well,
cool
okay,
visual.
but still, it's a miniatures company, and they want to make money off of miniatures. And if rebooting the Horus Heresy to make it Mark II does well, is doing well, then why not? You know, so they retcon some things here and there. That just makes sense.
Commissar makes a good point.
This is.
I hope I do get that point, and I think that's probably the one point that stands truest above all. I sincerely hope we do not see an Emperor, a Horus, a
Oh,
Saint
God.
Beast occurs in the 41st millennium.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I mean,
They've had their moment, and they're great characters because they died.
yeah, no, it certainly does devalue the sacrifice of those Primarchs, both loyalist and traitor. And I believe that that is an understandable feeling and statement to make. You know, and I like debate. I like talking about the lore with people that are reasonable instead of foaming at the mouth. Because that's one thing that I've noticed recently is that there's a lot of toxicity when it comes to talking about the lore or just like
No.
All right. I get your guys' point. Sarcasm. You guys laid it on pretty thick. A tech police would pick up on that.
We have to. Brinley doesn't do social cues so good.
Yeah, it's like, are we laughing at the disability now or what?
It's not a disability, it's just the way you are, Brendan.
So I think I think that the idea of the Horus Heresy starting back up again is certainly one that's definitely more marketable than some of the other ideas that Games Workshop's had. Not saying that they haven't had good ideas in the recent, but what we've seen with the specialty games coming back is, I think Games Workshop finally getting their finger on the pulse and saying, well, this is what the fans want, so we're going to give it to them. And, you know, who knows? Who knows? The specialty games, the box games, the Kill Team, the Rogue Trader, all that stuff might go away because of sales and whatnot, or just the grinding wheel of business. But the fact that they made such a hard push to introduce these games, to listen to the fans, to create something that's new, that's flashy, is them taking a risk. And I haven't heard anything bad or ill about Blackstone or Kill Team.
Blackstone 4 is amazing. I've actually played it through to the end, and it was great. It really was.
Yeah. And that is literally what I hear every time. I am remiss the fact that I don't play Blackstone because I haven't had a chance to pick it up. But yeah, I think that Games Workshop is, whoever is controlling the story and marketing arms of Games Workshop is doing the company a great service when it comes to it. So, a long-winded question about the Horus Heresy.
As they all should be. I sincerely would like to see Vigilus fall just in time for the Lion to wake up. He and Bobby G meet up once. They kind of are like, so, a bit weird, not really trusting one another. And then the curtain drops and the Imperium is cut in half from that point onwards. So then...
Yeah.
Oh,
so
boy.
we've seen a planet fall before, and that's called Medusa 5.
Yep.
And I don't... Cadia fell due to the story, but we're talking about like a world campaign where no matter what you did, the planet was going to fall.
Oh, so good.
And so basically it was triage. It was combat triage. So the Guard and the Marines had to do what they had to do and whatnot. But like I could see Vigilance fall. And as a matter of fact, who is it? Who was it that just came out recently with an op-ed? I want to say it was Andy Chambers. That came out and said, I'm tired of listening about Failbadon the Armless.
Oh yeah, no, that was Aaron Dembski Bowden.
Oh yeah, Aaron Dembski Bowden. That's right. He and he's like, I know it's a joke, and I know people are lighthearted about it, but at the same time, Abaddon was meant to be feared. He's meant to be scary. He's meant to be he is the archetype of the arch enemy of man.
Is everything that should and is evil in any way.
Yeah, and not in a comic sense, like in the actual.
No, this is a legitimate, like he's going to just wreck you and everything that you thought you knew. Yeah.
This is this isn't like your cartoon Joker in the Batman animated series. This is a guy that will watch the world burn because it's his will, because he's trying to prove a point, and that is that
Sorry.
And that is no. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's good that you said it, because at no point in any book I have ever read where he is the main character or a cameo has he ever portrayed himself as a comic book villain. He's the real deal.
Yeah. And while I get the memes, I get the jokes, but after a while, it's like, oh, Abaddon the Armless, oh, Failbadon, Easy Kill, whatever the hell you want to name him, right? It's just like, dude,
I think
stop.
Games Workshop listened. He's now toughness 5, and he halves all damage.
Yeah,
he's pretty good.
Yeah, he can kill a Baneblade in one.
Yeah.
How many wounds is a Baneblade, Brinley?
I don't know. I'm not that far in my tournament prep.
I think it's 26.
26
wounds of a Bane.
Abaddon can take a Baneblade in one round of combat.
Yeah, he sure can.
He's no joke. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Chomp things.
I'm curious to see how he stacks up against Saint Celestine, because Saint Celestine is a beast.
He is quite good. He is.
Yeah.
He's fairly savage. It would depend. I mean, Celestine will be getting those bonuses against a Chaos model, so that could actually swing it quite well in her favor.
Abaddon gets the bonuses because she's an Imperial model.
Ooh,
She's Imperial,
It's an even fight.
And he gets those on a 5-up, not a 6-up.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be clear, we should do a roll-off with it.
We should.
Get the stats out.
Well, I think I actually have well, let me find it real quick, and I'll there's my backpack.
Backpack.
I had the weirdest Dora the Explorer moment just then.
Yeah, I just started singing backpack. Literally, I'm like, backpack.
Oh, my daughter has not discovered Dora the Explorer. Thank the God Emperor of Man.
Definitely keep her away from that.
Well, what's funny is that she we're going to Japan, and I introduced her to Pokemon a while back, and she loves it. She can't. anything Studio Ghibli or anime, she eats up. Which, hey, I'm training her right. So, all right. So let's see, Saint Celestine. Let's see her stat line real
Give me
quick.
2 seconds. I'll get the balance that one.
Oh, God, I just hurt looking at this.
It's gonna be a roll off. I hope everyone's got some dice ready.
Just realised I got my tea delivered to me before and I've let it go cold.
Oh no, you better drink that cold tea. Drink that cold tea.
Party foul.
Make him chug it.
All right.
Hey, you drink that swill.
I'm going to use my new shiny Chaos Dice.
All right.
Gross. Heretic.
This is going to give me all the favour.
Alright.
Alright, how's Celestine looking?
She's looking pretty top. With a movement of 12, weapon skill 2, ballistics 2, strength of 3, toughness of 3, wounds 6,
Oh boy.
assault 6, leadership 9, save 2. However, the armor of Saint Catherine gives her a 4-up invul save.
Alright, so the only way we can decide how this goes first is that I've got a dice right here. I'm gonna roll it. And then whoever guesses closest to the number, so the numbers are between 1 and 6. Everyone playing at home. Alright?
Alright.
Whoever gets closest. We'll go. Alright, so it's rolled, alright? We'll let the guess go first. Hecht?
I'm gonna say 4.
Alright, Toddy?
Well, I know you rolled it, so it'll be a 1.
Well, you're a piece of shit, because I got a 6. Celestine goes first. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, an Aushammer first.
Really rolled good.
first roll I've rolled that's been a 6 that hasn't been against Mickey.
Alright.
All right. So Celestine going first. She's got a. We'll do melee just so that because we're just gonna cut range out of it. So with Celestine, 6 attacks on a 2-up. I'm gonna do quick maths. That should be 5 hits, 1 miss, right?
Yeah, sure.
So 6, 5, 2, barely. 6, 2, so that's 4, 5, 1. Oh, there's my miss. Okay, so 5 hit. The strength of 3, the Ardent Blade gives me a +4, so that's 6. Strength 6.
Against toughness
8.
5.
Against toughness 5, so 3s. So quick maths on that would be out of the 5 that hit, 3 wound, right? 4 maybe. 4 maybe. So 5. Cocked. 4. Whoa. I'm just dropping dice.
You'll,
so 5 and 4.
Yep.
4, 6, and I'm gonna count that one. That one was a 1.
Does your 6 generate extras?
6 does not generate extras, as far as I know.
All right. Does she get to attack with the bodyguards now? That's 4 wounds.
No. We're just gonna do models. Let's keep it simple.
Okay.
Not the bodyguards.
All right. So that's 4 wounds that went through. Yeah.
So 4 wounds at -3.
Well, we'll just roll that on his Dark Destiny, which is a 4-up invo.
Yeah.
All right. And I failed 2 of them. I got
Toddy.
2 4s, a 3, and a 1.
Okay. So with that, it's 2 damage apiece, but I believe you are halved, correct?
Correct. So I take 2 wounds.
Yep, 2 wounds.
All right. I've got 6 wounds remaining.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep track on this end. So, I've done 6. All right. Has she got any more attacks she can swing with?
No, her abilities is Saintly Blessing. I mean, obviously, if I was using Acts of Faith, I could do Acts of Faith, but I'm not. Let's just do baseline attacks.
Okay.
Because Acts of Faith throw a wrench into it.
Well, so does having the Mark of Corn, which lets me attack you twice.
Yeah, I would probably try and use as much as you can to smack Abaddon down because he's got lots of janky
Okay,
stuff.
all right,
yeah.
all right. Well, okay, so using an Act of Faith on a 3-up. See what happens. Okay, that is a 3-up. I get to attack again.
Nice. Slaughter him.
Because one of the Act of Faith is yeah, at the start of the passion, it's a devotion value of 5, and it uses an Act of Faith. If successful, a selected unit can choose to fight twice in the fight phase. So similar to Corn, the Corn ability. So all right, that was a miss with a 1. Hit 6. Oh, 1. Okay, she missed twice. Hit. Missed again.
Oh boy.
So that was 3 misses and
3 hits.
3 hits. Okay, 3 misses, 3 hits. All right, so
Ken
3
tells you can do it. For everyone who's just tuned in, we've got.
That is a wound with a 3. That is a wound with a 3. Man, I'm rolling low now. And that is a wound with a 3. All right, average.
So saved 2 of them, so that's another 2 damage.
So you're down to 4.
Down to 4.
No, down to 1. Down to 1. You're halved. Remember?
No, he only
All
takes
damage.
half damage.
Yeah, I saved 2.
Save 2. Each attack does 2 damage.
Correct.
But you get to halve it.
You get to have it.
Right.
So you're
I'm
down.
to 5 wounds.
You're down to 5. Yep.
Yep. All right. My turn to attack.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right. Here we go. First, I'll attack with the Talon of Horus.
Yep.
That's and we're doing melee only, so it's 6 attacks at strength 10, AP 4, and the D3 damage each. Hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s because of my ability as a warlord, and then rolling an additional 3 attacks because of Death to the False Emperor, and because he has the Black Legion warlord trait. That means he does it on a 5-up. So, I don't think I get to re-roll those though.
No.
I know they don't generate extra attacks.
No, you don't get to re-roll. So you're only allowed 1 re-roll, whether it's command points or an ability. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. We've got someone in the chat saying yes, you do, because it's an additional attack generated, and I miss with it. His ability lets him. It's not a re-roll. It's a new attack.
New attack. So yeah, no, you're right. Yep, that sounds good.
Oh, because it's like DACA.
Yeah. It's all good though. The re-roll was a 1. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
So out of 6 attacks, 8 hit.
All right. So my toughness is only a 3, so you're probably going to need 2s.
Yep. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds.
Jesus. That could kill her. All right. So, 4 ups. Okay. And then... Oh, yeah. All right, so she took 5 wounds.
All right.
Oh,
Let's
boy.
see how much damage is that then? Oh my god.
You just rolled 6s all up in, didn't you?
No, I didn't. That's what I rolled.
Oh, is that all 1s?
That's all
Wow.
1s.
Oh, Toddy,
Yeah.
burn those dice. They clearly hate
That's
you.
5 wounds. Now hold up. We're not out of the wood yet. 5 wounds she takes. I'm now going to roll for Drach and Yen. I got a 5, so he gets 5 attacks with Drach and Yen.
Oh my
Alright.
lord.
That's disgusting.
Rerolling ones. No. 6 generates an additional attack. Alright. 2s to wound. 3 extra wounds on your 4-up invo.
Ah, damn it. All right, so 1, 2, and 3. All right, made those.
You made all 3.
Yeah, made all 3. 5, 5, and 6.
Alright, so now I'm going to attack again. Using my
Well,
using my Mark of Corn. Alright, here we go. This is better rolling. 2 6s were in that roll. No rerolls needed. Get an additional 2 attacks. Both hit. All wound, except 1. So take 6, 7 armor saves.
Oh,
Horus.
ruthless.
Nope. You killed me with the first one.
Alright, so you.
All right, no, hold on. 2 ups.
Yeah. Technically, she's 8 wounds because she's got the 2 bodyguards with her.
Right. Well, yes. Technically, she would be 8 wounds if she's got the 2 bodyguards with her.
So roll those 7 and tell me how many got through.
Well, 1 already got through, and if your dice roll, and if your dice, you're gonna kill. Okay, so. Holy crap! Let me roll that again. There we go. Yep. No, you killed her. So 2 up. See if she comes back. 6, she does.
Okay. Well, hang on. So,
Back.
oh, hang on. Favrenicor is saying that she's missing 8 wounds on top of her profile.
She's missing 8 wounds on top of her profile. No, she's got 6 wounds.
4 up is. Oh, hang on. 6 wounds plus the bodyguards. Because you'd have to cut through the 2 guards to get to her.
Oh.
Okay, so is she dead yet?
Well, you've taken 2 saves. Take the remaining 5, because what we'll do is we'll just keep chopping through the bodyguards as well.
Now, so her wounds. So the Gemini Superior are only 2 wounds each.
Only 2 wounds each.
Yeah. Since she only has 2 at any given time.
Right.
Unless. Yeah. She only has 2 at any given time.
Yeah.
And so she's a. If we're just adding the bodyguard, she's a 10 wound model. But I failed. The Gemini do not receive the same 4-up invul save as.
Yeah. Oh, well, in that case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage for the Gemini, I guess. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to her. But you said she came back?
Yes, she does. She has an ability to come back.
So I just rolled
On a 2.
for Drachenyen then for 3. All 3 hit, generating 1 extra.
Well, it's after. So it's after the. It's after your fight phase.
Oh, that's a shame.
Guess he'd be like, yes, I've killed her. And then he'd be like, by the way, guess who's back?
Yeah.
Hey, boy.
So basically, miraculous intervention. If Celestine is reduced to 0 wounds, roll a d6 on a 2-up. Set her at the end of the phase, as closest to the previous position, but more than 1 inch away from an enemy model. So you actually can't consolidate into her. Because basically any good player worth their salt is going to set her up 5 to 6 inches.
Right,
Yeah.
so Abaddon's finished his thing. He's got 5 wounds left. So Celestine's going to swing again. Because this is
Okay.
her round of combat now.
Yep.
I mean, effectively,
So
he
her
could have. So we're just going to assume that he's just gone ahead and just like murder faced the guards as well. So there's no guards for this round.
Yep. Well, so here's the really amazing part about Celestine. At the start of your movement, so this would be the beginning of the movement phase, you can pick a friendly Gemini Superior within 3 inches that has suffered 1 or more wounds as a casualty. If you do, a single model regains all of her lost wounds, and the unit contains No model. A slain Gemini is restored, but all lost wounds is regained.
So you get one back.
I get one back at 2. So technically, she's at 8 wounds again.
Yep.
Again, we're not going to I'm going to ignore the Gemini for the attack because it's just the Gemini. We're just focusing on melee between Celestine and Abaddon. So 6 attacks. Hit at 2 up. Hit. Jesus. Hit. And hit. All right, so all 6 hit. All right, 3s to wound. Oh, snake eyes on the first 2.
Whoa.
1 and 5 on the second 2. And only 2 wounds.
All right.
That is embarrassing.
He fails 1, so he takes 1 more. Are you gonna do? Well,
Yep. I'm gonna do my act of faith. So on a 3 up, I get it. So 1, 2, 3. Cocked. 3, 4. Cocked. Damn it. 5 and 6. Okay. All 5 hit. Not all 6. 5 hit. Standard math. 2 wounds. 4 wounds and 5. No, I'm sorry. 4 wounds.
4 wounds.
Because I rolled next dice.
Going off his 4 up makes 2, so loses another 1. Cool.
2 loses another 1.
Yeah, loses 1 wound.
Loses another 2.
Oh, lose another 2. That's right, because they're 2 damage each. There we go. Cool.
They're 2
All right,
damage
so
each.
big Daddy Abby.
So he's
swings back.
down to 3.
He's down to 2 now.
Oh boy.
So he will roll and hits with everything, and he generates an additional 2, which
That is. We're just gonna assume that's 1 dead canoness.
both hit.
Oh, easy.
Because what is his AP?
-4.
Oh yeah, that's a dead canoness.
Yep.
Or the dead Gemini.
So they all go through. So you've got 3, 6, 8 4-ups to make.
Fuck. Gemini takes all of that because she can't survive that. You can attack with Draken to Celestine now, because the fist is all 1 attack, correct?
Sorry, say that again.
Is the fist 1 attack or is it multiple attacks?
Well, he gets all 6 of his attacks with the fist,
Okay.
and
alright.
then he gets the sword on top of that.
So, and the fist does how much damage with each attack? D6?
D3.
D3. Okay, yeah. So,
Why I had such a shocking roll the first time.
yeah. So, how many attacks were how much damage did you?
Let's put 2 into the Gemini.
Okay, all right.
So she takes 5.
Yeah,
4
okay.
attacks.
5, so 4 ups. All right, 1 makes it, 1 fail. 2 fail. 3 fail. And okay, so 3 fail. So 3d6.
Yeah, she's gone.
Yeah, she's just dead.
Yeah. So Celestine does hammer him,
Well,
but
then there's still 6. There's still 6 to go on Celestine.
Yeah.
yeah. So Celestine, it does hammer him, but not doesn't quite pull it up to snuff. Now, I obviously we didn't add the Gemini into the fight because I don't think the Gemini would have tipped the balance at any point in time.
I just rolled extra for the sword. 2 plus 1.
Yeah.
Yep. So hits with 3. and generates another 2 wounds off the sword as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're 3 damage each.
Yeah. So crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
the War Master.
This is true.
But I'm actually surprised he got reduced to 2 wounds with Celestine. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, look, having a once you cut through that 2-up armor save, there's not much to a character.
So
Mm.
you would have killed Celestine dead to rights anyway with that first volley of attack, if the fact that she doesn't come back.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh,
You guys go check out these mortar teams. They are so gangster at the moment.
they're coming along.
They are
I'm gonna
looking.
have to put pictures up of my Marines that have been painting up.
No, not yet. So
Over here. Woo.
Ooh, look at them.
Some mortar teams. Man, it's definitely not a good camera angle, but will improve. Ugh, there we
well,
go.
they're definitely coming good. Anyway, gentlemen, my daughter is awake, so the commissar has been called to duty. I would love to continue the interview and whatnot, but and talk Warhammer with you guys. However, I can duty calls, and I am summoned to
back to the front line.
That's all right.
back to the front line.
We quite understand. We are in fact coming up to that the magical 2-hour mark for an interview. So that's usually where we call it, because we're all old men and.
Yeah. Actually, tomorrow is my first day back at work, so
Yeah, that's
yeah.
probably should go to
back
bed.
into it. But it's been an absolute blast. We've loved talking to you. It's been really fun.
I enjoyed talking to you guys, and enjoyed the conversation back and forth. I'm not as well versed in the lore as some of you are, especially on the chaos side. I wish I was, but like I said, I have almost every Imperial Guard book known to man, and then most of the Inquisition books, like Eisenhorn and Ravener and all that stuff.
Such good books. Such good books, and that's all you need. Like we've had a Commissar on who's well versed in Imperial lore. I'd be a bit worried if we had a Commissar who was an expert in like chaos treaties. This Commissar's got a lot of spikes on him.
There's a no. I enjoyed talking to you guys. You guys are super knowledgeable on lore, and it was just a blast having a conversation.
Yeah, we've enjoyed having you on tonight.
Yeah, it was really good.
That didn't devolve into just a flame war online. So.
Hey, thanks for the mini game of 40k too. I hadn't.
That's it.
Oh yeah. That was a nice little treat. I didn't get to. I wish it ended in an Imperial victory, but you know what? It just illustrates how dangerous Abaddon is, and maybe we can finally put down Failbadon, the armlets, to rest. Maybe that meme can finally go away.
Well, let's not get too hopeful here. Memes are life.
I love playing the Imperial Guard. I love being the underdog. My army, last bit before we sign off, I guess. My army is comprised. I was getting so tired of just running infantry squads, so I decided to go more elite. So my army composition, as is 3 stormtrooper squads of 10 men, rocking either grenade launchers or plasma guns. 3 veteran squads. The first squad has grenade launchers, 3 grenade launchers, Voxcaster, missile launcher, plasma pistol, power sword. Second veteran squad, same loadout. Third veteran squad, plasma guns, plasma pistol, lost cannon. I called that my anti-Terminator squad when AP was based off of what the number was, not the minuses.
Yeah.
And back then, I gave all my guys carapace armor,
Oh,
sharpshooters, and whatnot. So like they didn't go down easy. And I used grenadiers to fill out my stormtroopers as troops choices and whatnot. So, yeah, I like running more elite heavy infantry guard than like the either the spam armor or the mass infantry units. And I roll with 3 Leman Russes, 2 regular main battle tanks with heavy bolter and lost cannon sponsons, and then 1 demolisher with plasma cannon, lost cannon, and then my command squad, the senior, the company commander, Tempester Prime and his command squad, and a Primaris Psyker and his command squad. So it's a pretty, I do it in 3s to balance out the army, and it's pretty beastly when it finally. When you play it, there's enough small arms fire in there to if one of my tanks goes down, they can pull their weight.
Yeah.
That's provided that they survive the first salvo. But that's kind of like my guard composition, and I've seen very few people play the way I play, and it's very interesting to see how they look at it. They're like, "Wow, you've got so little guard, but there's a lot of toys in there." And I was like, "Yes, there
Hey
is a lot."
man, you've just had Fab has just commented in the chat going. Underdog, we just won LVO for the list for the first time in 20 years. We're the fucking best, and the world knows it.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I saw the Adepticon tournament live on they were streaming it, and there was a one Imperial Guard player who he brought the ride of the Rohirrim. It was literally all Rough Riders.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
glorious.
And
It's like Grimly's wet dream.
I scratched my head and I'm like, this man's insane. And he did really well. He got knocked out, I think, in the second or third series, like second or third brackets, only because I think he was up against Eldar and they just were moving around too fast for him to catch.
Yeah. Filthy pointy-eared bastards.
But yeah, it was amazing to see, and it's kind of interesting to see fluff lists like just all cavalry, like just all Rough Riders go up against like a pretty meta list like Eldar, and fare pretty well, but yet still lose. It's really interesting because you're just taking the piss at that point. You're just like, I'm here to basically piss you off.
Yeah, so you're just trying to, like, you're not gonna beat them, but like if you can deny them enough victory points, then you're gonna screw them over later in the competition.
Yeah.
So always play that vindictive long game with that underdog.
Yeah. But anyway, gentlemen, I do have to go. Like I said, my daughter's up and running, and I gotta help out. And
No, by all means.
All good.
No, thank you so much. We'll sign off here. This has been Commissar Hecht from Aushammer, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a pleasure. This video will be available on his YouTube site, so Commissar Hecht, same name as is in the top of this stream right here. Definitely go check it out.
And Facebook, you'll see a lot of my. I'll be uploading some photos of me on leave before I go to Japan and whatnot, and family and all that stuff. So some behind the scenes stuff, and that's the best way you're going to be able to keep in touch with me after I PCS, because I'll be going dark for about a month and a half, because I don't know when I'm going to be able to get internet and whatnot. So
that's it, and then it might be in Japanese, so who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I appreciate you gents inviting me. It's been a lovely time chatting with you and sharing in the like-mindedness. And you have a lovely audience, and I'm glad to have partaken in that audience. So, gentlemen, I bid you all a good night and happy wargaming.
Thank you very much, and that's it from us. We'll end that.